Start.
So, in the last session, we have discussed the basic drug groups of the antihypertensive agents, and these are the drugs acting on the sympathetic system, which reduces the sympathetic system, that is one. Second, the drugs which reduces the peripheral vascular resistance, these are vasodilators. Third, the drugs which reduces the fluid load, these are the diuretics. And fourth, the drugs acting on the renin, angiotensin, aldosterone system. Now, here in this presentation, I will just give you the example of each drug group. First, the alpha and the beta blockers. Again, in the alpha, you know that there are two types of the receptors, alpha 1 and alpha 2. If you block the peripheral alpha 1 receptor, then the blood pressure reduces, and these are prazosin, terazosin, doxazosin. Prazosin is a prototype drug. Then again in the beta blockers, you all know that beta 1, these are the presence on the cardiac system, and if you block the beta 1 receptor, this is known as a cardioselective beta blockers. They act as antihypertensive agents, and these are atenolol, metoprolol, bisoprolol, smolol. Okay. Out of these, you should remember the E for E. E means emergency. Because smolol is a very short acting, ultra short acting antihypertensive agent, and that's why it is used in the hypertensive emergency also. Then the next, if you can block both alpha plus beta, then it is very good, and the agent is levodopa. Then how you can reduce is the central sympathetic outflow. The agents are known as the central sympatholytics. And we all know that the centrally, the alpha 2 receptors, these are present, these are autoreceptor. It means that when they act as a policeman, if you stimulate these receptors, they will not allow the release of the catecholamines. So the central alpha 2 agonist is the clonidine and alpha methyl dopa. Okay, I will not talk about the adrenergic neuron blocker. So these are all the drugs that are acting on the sympathetic system. Now we quickly jump to the second group, that is diuretics. Even though there are many diuretics, thiazide diuretics, loop diuretics, potassium sparing diuretics, osmotic diuretics, but these thiazide diuretics, they are primarily acting as an antihypertensive agent. We will discuss this in a next lecture, that why only these are used, but presently you know the name, you must know that is hydrochlorothiazide, and second is the chlorthalidone. These are used as an antihypertensive agent. The third is, we quickly jump on the vasodilators. Here we are primarily focusing on the arteriodilators. First and foremost, you know that the calcium is responsible for the contraction of the smooth muscle, whether it is a visceral smooth muscle or the vascular smooth muscle. And if you block this calcium channel, it reduces the availability of the calcium in the vessel wall, and that's why it relaxes the vessel wall. And because of this, there is the vasodilatation. There are different drug groups in the calcium channel blockers, but that primarily acting on the vascular smooth muscle is the dihydropyridines. And among these, the longer acting agent is amlodipine. Other agents are nifedipine, nimodipine, nicardipine. But this is the commonly used agents as a single dose therapy, single daily dose. Then there are directly acting agents also, hydralazine, diazoxide and minoxidil. Then if you open the potassium channel, then again the vessel will be relaxed. That is nicorandil. And there is another agent which was previously very widely used for the hypertensive emergency because it dilates both arterioles as well as the veins. That is sodium nitroprusside. Okay. And above all, there is another vasodilator group, but that we will discuss under the heading of the drugs that are acting on the renin, angiotensin, aldosterone system. You all know that the renin that is released from the JG cells of the kidney and under the effect of the stimulation of the beta 1 receptor, when this renin release detects on the angiotensinogen and convert it into the angiotensin 1. Now this angiotensin 1 enters into the circulation, and when it reaches to the lungs, with the help of the angiotensin converting enzyme, it is converted into angiotensin 2. And this angiotensin 2 acts on the AT1 receptor, and this will lead to a catastrophic action. Why I am using this term? Because in relation to the hypertension, because this angiotensin 2, it will causes direct vasoconstriction, that is one. Then it stimulates the aldosterone release, and what the aldosterone will do? Aldosterone will affect on the cardiac musculature. Aldosterone, it will cause the retention of the salt and the water. Because of this, on one side it causes vasoconstriction, on other side it stimulates the aldosterone release, and that's why it increases the fluid in the body, and that's why this angiotensin 2 is a chief culprit for hypertension. Okay, so how we can act on this system? If you can directly block, direct renin inhibitor you can give, then all the questions will be solved, and that agent is aliskiren. Then the next is, the culprit is angiotensin 2. So if you can inhibit this enzyme, angiotensin converting enzyme inhibitor, that is all the pril, captopril, enalapril, lisinopril, ramipril, perindopril, any pril, these are AC inhibitors. And the next target site is if you can block this receptor. So even though the angiotensin 2 is formed, but it will not act on the AT1 receptor. And these are losartan, candesartan and irbesartan. So either you can directly inhibit the renin, or you can inhibit the angiotensin converting enzyme, or you can block the AT1 receptor, or you can directly give the aldosterone antagonist. These are the various target sites of the renin angiotensin aldosterone system. Okay, thank you, and in the next class we will discuss about in detail of the drugs acting on renin angiotensin aldosterone system. Thank you very much.